Hey guys, how's it going? I am Dude Not So HD, and today I'm going to be talking about the Fortnite Chapter 2 map and the issues it has versus the Chapter 1 map, and some things that I've not seen covered anywhere else. But before that, if you do end up enjoying this video, please drop it a like, and if you feel so inclined, please subscribe. Also, this is one of the only times I'll ask you to stick through the whole video so you can see all the context that I'm trying to add and show to prove this theory. Alright, so let's get into it. So I could talk about the fact that the map might be too big, it might feel too empty, there's not enough biomes, but all of that has already been covered. What I want to go over in this video is why that might be the case and some things that I have seen. And a theory I have, I might not have proof of this theory, but I do have some evidence that might indicate to that. So I'll take you through it and show you what I mean. And the biggest theme you're going to see in the Chapter 2 map is the importance that Epic places on replacing instead of adding. So first, let me run down the seasons of Chapter 2 and all the map changes, and as I go through it, I'll make a note on a few things and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, let's start with Season 1. Not a lot to say here in Season 1, we got the new map. That's basically it. Nothing was changed during the season. We just got the new map, and this is where it all starts. Okay, so let's start really with Season 2. This is when things finally get added. So first off, vaults are added into the game. Agency, Shark, Grotto, Caddy, the Yacht, and the Rig is added to the game. So this is the first time things are actually added, and nothing at this point is being replaced. But we do have one thing that happens in the season that starts to indicate something is a little bit off. So that thing is Deadpool gets added to the season, and instead of Deadpool getting his own POI or taking over maybe another POI and changing it, something like Doom taking over Pleasant Park, what we get is Deadpool takes the yacht from Brutus, and Brutus is sort of shoved on Caddy. Now I did say Caddy was added, but it was really just one building at this stage. So Brutus gets kicked off the yacht, Deadpool takes over, and no actual map changes comes with Deadpool joining the map. And so far, it seems not so bad. We got a bunch of POIs added. You can also see why a lot of people like this season the most out of this chapter, because we also get the vaults. We get a bunch of stuff in this season, so it's looking good so far. Alright, so let's move on to Season 3. Of course, everyone knows this is when the water fills up the map. The water levels rise. And in that rising, we get the Fortilla, the Rig, which was really the Rig from before, but a little bit broken down. Some trash islands that end up disappearing as the map, obviously the water levels go down. And the big thing, Coral Castle, which could not be a worse fucking POI. But anyway, what we lose is the Grotto, and the Shark is in ruins. But we're not losing a lot at this stage. However, by the time the water goes down, a lot of POIs don't have as much loot as they usually had, or they used to have, but still, in the end of the day, it still seems like a net gain. It's not too bad. Certain things have been changed, but it's all good. It's actually in the next season, and from then on, that things get a bit weird. Alright, let's move on to Season 4. So Season 4, 2 weeks in, we get Stark. We also get the small cuts from the different world, like Ant-Man and Black Panther's little areas. And then from there, what we lose is Camp Cod, for some reason, loses a building. Fortilla is cut in half. The yacht is gone. Rickety Rig is gone. Agency is now in ruins for no apparent reason. Grotto is also completely gone. Pleasant gets taken over by Doom. So Doom doesn't get his own POI. He takes over a POI. And the only other thing we really get added is this little new building that's being built by Holly. Also, with Stark being added, of course it replaces both the orchard and the farm, which is fine. I don't think anyone was particularly fond of those areas of the map. But now you do see, for what we got added, which Stark was fantastic, we lost quite a bit. And some of it doesn't make sense, like the Camp Cod losing a building. Why did it lose a building? Why was the Fortilla cut in half? Why did the Grotto just never come back? And especially, why is the Agency just ruins now? Agency could have continued to be the agency. Maybe it didn't need to have any AI there, but it could have still been one of the better POIs. Alright, let's move on to Season 5. So what we end up getting is Stealthy Stronghold, the Colosseum, Hunter's Haven, and some of these POIs that are mixed in with the old map. So a boat appears at Holly above the new building that was being built. A restaurant at Logjam from Greasy. Tilted is at Salty, some tilted buildings. Tomato at Orchard. And one depot from Dusty is added, and of course we get Butterbon, and for some reason we just get some of Flush Factory, and there's not a lot there. We also get NPCs everywhere, but what do we lose for adding all the NPCs? So let's go over that now. So what we end up losing is Agency. Fortilla is completely gone, Vaults are gone, and also later on in the season, we get the Mandalorian POI, but for some reason, even though it's not on top of the Henchman house or Henchman base, Henchman is completely removed so Mandalorian can be put there. Also, we no longer have any POIs that have AI around with a vault, but we do have NPCs everywhere, and the one form of AI we have is the IO gods, which fucking no one wants. Also, once again, you'll see Stealthy replaces houses. That's not too bad. Colosseum, however, replaces stock, which is very underwhelming, and also the Orchard comes back. Hunters replaces the Sentinels area, which is fine. But as you can see, we are doing a lot of replacing. It seems that the map can never get bigger and more filled with certain smaller POIs or whatever, with more POIs at this stage, because the last two seasons, we haven't really had something added to the map that has stayed. So here's my theory. With the change in engines in Chapter 2, obviously it now costs more resources to add anything because the engine itself is more demanding. It's got better graphics, better lighting, all these things added, and I feel like they're already running at their limit. Now, what's their limit? Do they need to download more RAM? What is it? I don't know what it is. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's just the fact that they're worried about optimizing the game, because we already have issues every update where there's a lot of frame drops and lagging and all that for the first night of the update. But something obviously is wrong, because they never had this mentality of replacing things all the time. All of the POIs that I've mentioned as these seasons, especially from Season 3 onwards or Season 4 onwards, replaced other POIs. We're not seeing the adding of smaller POIs around bigger POIs, and most times when they add something like stock, it just gets removed the next season, which is also quite strange to me. And if you want to see this in a bigger light, let me show you the comparisons between what's been added in the first 5 seasons and stayed in Chapter 2 versus what was added in the first 5 seasons of Chapter 1 and stayed. Remember, this is added and not replaced. So something like the Colosseum replacing Stark or Paradise Palms replacing Moisty Myers don't count. So let's start with Chapter 1. This was added in the first 5 seasons, and these things stayed during. Junk Junction, Risky Reels, The Mansion and the Bad Guys Lair, Viking, Snobby, E9, H10, Lucky Landing, The Soccer Field, Tilted, and Shifty Shafts. These were all things added during Chapter 1. How about Chapter 2? What's been added and has stayed? Shark, Coral Castle, the building by Holly, which has only just been added, so we don't know how long it will stay. Flush, same thing, only just been added. And Caddy, that's it. That's all that's been added. Those are 5 things, and 2 of the things on there have just been added, and as we saw before with the previous seasons, things normally get removed that have been added in the next season. This is actually quite concerning, because I'm sure a lot of us are waiting for this map to get bigger and better and be filled with more POIs, but the way things look right now, it seems like they can't for some reason, or they won't for some reason, and that's very troubling. But instead of just saying that this is a problem and this is the issues they have, what can we do? What are some solutions that can help out? What can we offer up? Well, I would start with making the map a little bit smaller, condensing it a bit, and also I'll show you in this clip. So much of this map is actually water, and I'm not talking about the water within the map, I'm talking about the water outside of the map. That's why I think this map is technically bigger than the old map, but it isn't really if you take the land mass. It's not much bigger than the old map, but it's the water surrounding the map that is all playable area. That's the problem. How much space is being wasted with the playable area around the map, the water you can swim in, the ocean? Do we need this shit? I don't think we do. I'm more than happy with having the death barrier we had from the first chapter. Anyway, so this video is already going on for longer than I wanted it to. That is my theory. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think could be changed. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good one.